do this even during my retirement years, 'di ba? So that's okay. No problem. Pero one thing I see din sa society is that some people when they retire, they go back to work not because it's passion yung ginagawa nila, but because they still have bills to pay. No? So for me diyan ako medyo sumisikip yung dibdib ko kasi that's the people that I really want to help. Na sana mapaghandaan nila yung retirement para hindi sila malagay sa sitwasyon na kailangan nilang magtrabaho kahit hindi na kaya ng katawan nila kasi may mga binabayaran pa silang bills. So this is what really wakes me up in the morning. No, hopefully before I die, kahit maibsan naman to ng konti through these types of engagements. No? And my goal really is hopefully to encourage more people kasi ngayon 2% lang ng retirees are financially independent. No? So this is something that I'm working on myself pero gusto ko rin na marami rin na sasabay sa journey ko. Now, we will have different paths pero hopefully we'll be working towards that common goal. Okay? Kasi this is the reality. Okay? Sige nga, can you type in the chat box? Is this a reality? Itong survey na to, does it show what's happening sa society natin? Sige nga, type in yes or no. Thank you, no? Yan, it's really reality, no? Yan yung maganda sa survey kasi the numbers will tell you what's under the hood. Okay? So yan, thank you so much. Mas marami nang sumagot ngayon, no? Nagiging comfortable na kayo. Okay, thank you. Now, sabi nga ni Warren Buffett, 'di ba? If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. So this is one of the realities that we have to think. Kahit ako, this is how I approach retirement. Kasi alam ko na parang na-acknowledge ko early on na I cannot do what I do right now. No? Ngayon parang pwede pa akong mag-work extended hours. Pero darating din talaga na yung time na hindi na kaya ng katawan ko to do so. So habang kaya ko pa, ano yung pwede kong gawin para pagdating ng panahon na hindi na kaya ng katawan ko, meron na mag-o-augment doon sa active income ko. No? So that's why no, my second part of my presentation is also to show you ano yung mga pitfalls that you can avoid. No? So I'm going to share with you common retirement money mistakes. No? So hopefully pagdating nyo ng retirement, hindi nyo to siya gagawin. Okay? Kahit ngayon, no, even as malayo pa kayo from retirement, hopefully you avoid this pitfalls. No? Now, mistake number 1, carrying too much debt, ang daming utang, no? So, you have to really check, no? Again, sa adults naman, parang may, as I mentioned, no, pinag-usapan to sa previous sessions namin that there's good utang and there's also bad utang. Walang problema yung good utang because it's going to add more money to your pocket, no? Pero yung mga problema is ang dami ngayon, no? Sources of bad utang. You're buying things you cannot afford and it's not going to generate you extra cash flow, no? So usually niya mga consumer debt, no? Essentially gusto mo lang bilhin ngayon, you cannot delay gratification of saving money for it, kaya inutang mo yon, then you're paying for interest, no? So again, I'm not the type of speaker naman na wag kayong mag-utang, no? For me, okay lang mangutang basta good utang. If it's bringing in more money to your pocket, no problem, no? Mangutang ka ng, let's say, may nag-purchase order sa business mo ng 1 million worth, pero yung usual rolling capital mo is just 200,000. So sayang naman if you'll say no to that 1 million na purchase order kasi yung nakasanayan mo is 200,000. Tapos baka na-check mo sa historical mo ng yung average na profit margin mo is nasa 30%. So if 30% yung profit margin mo, then you can borrow money, no? If as long as mas less yung interest payment niya, interest rate niya, you can actually borrow money for let's say 1 million. You borrow money, alam mo sa 1 million, you can generate 300,000 for it. Pero wala kang pera to do so, so you can borrow that money. Let's say the interest there is 12%, normal na bank loan, no? So yung 12% is 120,000. Then 300,000 na expected profit mo minus 120,000, you will still net 180,000. So that's still it's putting money in your pocket. Not the same percentage, but syempre, iba yung profit in amounts mo ng 200,000, 30,000 yan is 30% is just 60,000, no? So sobrang layo ng 60,000 na net na margin mo compared to your 180,000, no? But yun, that's a good debt. Ang problema if you're carrying too much bad debt, no? So how do you know if you have too much debt? So all you need to do is just to sum, no? Lahat ng mga monthly amortizations ninyo, i-total mo 'yan, tapos i-compare mo siya by dividing it to your gross monthly income multiplied by 100. Makukuha mo yung tinatawag natin na debt to income ratio, no? So alam mo if okay ka if your debt load is 36 to 49% kasi medium debt load 'yan. Pero problemado ka basta 50%. Ibig sabihin, let's say 100,000 yung sweldo mo, 50,000 binabayad mo sa utang or more, no? So that's very hard, no? Kasi kalahati agad ng pinagpaguran mo, binabayad mo sa utang. Tapos what if hindi pa cash flow generating yung binabayaran mo, then sobrang bigat ng utang na dinadala mo. So, okay lang na mangutang as long as good utang, tapos preferably 35% or less. So kung 100,000 yung monthly income mo, then hopefully 35,000 or less yung binabayad mo sa amortization. No? So dapat isama nyo na dyan, binabayaran nyo sa bahay, sa sasakyan, or whatever ba yung mga debt na hinahawakan nyo. No? So the goal is, wherever you are right now, you find ways to pay down that debt para maging low debt load kayo. And again, I mentioned already no the difference between good utang and bad utang. Good utang siya pag it's the potential returns is greater than the cost of borrowing kasi it's going to be a net cash flow for you. Ang bad utang is if wala siyang expected income tapos wala pa talagang growth potential yung binili mo, no? So usually consumer loans yan nandyan siya. So careful tayo, no, sa mga bad utang. Now, talking about paying down your debts. This is my money smart tip, no? Pay off your bad debts. So, I'm not going to discuss this in detail right now kasi nga pinag-usapan na to siya sa 102, no? Financial Management 102. But depende po sa mga utang, no? Or nature ng mga utang ninyo. Kung maliliit yung utang mo tapos magkakaparehas lang yung interest rate, pwede ka gamitin yung debt snowball method na babayaran mo lahat ng minimum amount due for all of your debt. Pero kung may sobra ka pang panbayad, bayaran mo yung pinakamaliit yung balance, no? So that way, liliit yung list ng utang mo over time. No? But if you ask me, mas prefer ko tong pangalawang method kasi for me this is the most logical thing to do, no? Yung debt avalanche method. Maganda tong debt avalanche if you have big debts tapos matataas yung interest rate nila. Kasi itong strategy ng debt avalanche, babayaran mo pa rin lahat ng minimum amount due ng lahat ng utang mo, pero you prioritize paying down yung pinakamataas yung interest rate. So that's why for me it's the most logical thing to do kasi ito talaga yung pinaka cost efficient. Pero yung problema mo nito baka yung motivation mo naman, no? Kasi hindi mo nakikita talaga na tatanggalan yung list of utang mo. So that's the challenge of this lang, no? So pay off yung pinaka malaki yung interest rate, no? So for me my preferred choice is debt avalanche. Pero if motivation of paying down your debt is also a problem sa yung personality, that snowball might be a better option for you, no? So ayan, no? Hopefully we discussed this sa Financial Management 101. Now, moving on to mistake number 2, no? So kanina pinag-usapan natin carrying too much debt. Ito naman is excessive spending early on, no? Lalo na sa mga yung may matatanggap na lump sum, no? This is really the common mistake ng mga retirees. And actually hindi lang retirees 'yan kasi baka tayo kahit we're still decades away from our retirement, baka yung habit natin is really excessive spending, yung literal pagdating pa lang ng sweldo natin, yung volume ng gasto natin during that time sobrang laki tapos nagdi-diminish na lang siya hanggang petsa de peligro, di ba? But again, this is a common retirement mistake. Kasi di ba pag naka-lump sum parang biglang yaman, then the propensity to spend parang lumuluwag din yung mga kamay, no? So kasi ang daming pera, no? But I have to remind you that wealth is the money that you don't spend. No? Lalo na sa Pilipino, no? Mahilig tayong mag-project. No? Many people want to project their wealth, no? Na parang kung ganito na yung status ng buhay mo, expectation nila is meron ka ng ganito without even considering kung ano yung financial circumstance mo. But lalo na ngayon sa social media, 'di ba? Ang parang nagiging habit ng mga tao na mag mag-flex. Now, yun yung term nila ngayon, mag-flex ng wealth nila. But I'm telling you guys, no, wealth is the money you don't spend. No? Kasi sa Financial Management 101, no, doon sa crisis proofing your finances, you have to understand that your expense is another person's income. So, yan, no? So, careful tayo sa ganun, no? Pag medyo maluwag tayo sa pera. Yan. So, I'm going to give you my best tip, no, sa pag-iipon. The best way to save money is to not see the money at all. Okay? So, for me, yan yung tip ko sa inyo. Kung gusto niyo makatipid, huwag niyong tingnan yung pera niyo. Kasi pag nakikita natin yung pera ninyo, ang daming pumapasok sa utak natin. Paminsan nga hindi pa dumadating yung pera, alam mo na, no, creative ka na kung anong gagawin mo doon, excited ka na sa mga gagawin mo sa pera mo. But try mong wag tingnan yung pera, no? Case in point ko dito is the SSS. Yung SSS kinakaltas always sa sweldo, 'di ba? Pero when you check your SSS app, you can see your total contribution there towards the years and parang ma-amaze ka na, oh, ang laki na pala na na-contribute ko. Because you did not see the money at all. Even your pag-ibig na regular savings, yung MP1, no? Pero yun lang, maliit lang yun, nasa 200 pesos, no? 400 na ngayon with the employer match, no? So, hanap kayo ng paraan na hindi nyo makikita yung pera nyo, hindi nyo siya masyado nahawakan kasi for some reason, pag nakikita natin yung pera natin, ang dami na nating nai-imagine. Alright. So, here's my money smart tip, no? Kahit nasa retirement phase na kayo or ngayon, develop the habit na sa sweldo nyo, ibabudget nyo talaga yan siya. Kahit magre-retire na kayo soon, kailangan kahit pension yun, tinatanggap nyo yun walang effort, kailangan nyo pa rin siya i-budget. No? Because a budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. No? So very important yung budgeting. No? And let's move on to mistake number 3. No? Kanina I was talking about debt management, excessive spending, pero no matter how we control our finances, may mga curveballs talaga yung buhay na hindi natin malalaman, masisira yung roof natin or may mga accidents na pwedeng mangyari na way beyond our control or may nangyari sa katawan natin na hindi naman natin ini-expect, no? But we should not neglect those uncertainties sa buhay. So that's why my money smart tip is to have enough emergency fund, no? So even towards your retirement, this is very essential, no? So kung makakatanggap kayo ng retirement na lump sum, save a portion of that kung wala pa kayong emergency fund. So yung benchmark niyo ng emergency fund is 6 to 12 months, no? Pag nagtatrabaho ka pa, siguro okay pa yung 3 to 6 months. Pero pag retiree ka na, 6 to 12 months or kung pwede more, mas maganda. No? Kasi mas kailangan na natin yung liquidity. Kasi wala nga tayong regular salary, no? So, yun. So, you need to have enough emergency fund. Not only emergency fund but also insurance coverage, no? So, sana before pa tayo mag-retire, meron na tayong enough na na-acquire ng mga insurance policies to cover both health and life ng mga scenarios, no? Buti nga ngayon guys, no, marami na noon medyo mahirap for seniors to get insurance policy kasi nga mas mahal siya pag mas matanda siya. So kung medyo bata ka pa, hanap ka ng insurance na fit for you. But ngayon, meron ako nakikita sa market ng mga na designed for seniors. So kung wala pa, kuha kayo, no? Kasi itong insurance, you're putting the risk to the insurance company, no? Pag may nangyari sa iyo, covered nila kahit hindi ka pa nag fully pay, 'di ba? So yan, no? Hanap kayo. Ako personal ko na preference are term na insurance. Tapos medyo mas nagfo-focus ako sa health insurance rather than the life insurance kasi I also want to uh, uh, build, no, or resilience sa mga dependents ko. Kasi nga, no, I want them to build their own wealth din, no, beyond the family's funds, 'di ba? Kasi nga mahirap yung it's depende, no, it's different from family to family, but ako mas heavy ako doon sa health because ayaw ko lang sila mahirapan pag nagkasakit ako, at least meron na magko-cover ng mga expenses. Pero yung for the life, no, it's something that I want to teach them as well para sabay din kami mag-build ng ganon, no. But yan, it's a personal preference, it may be different for you. But something you can check out, no? Lalo na yung sa AXA, it's a sister company namin. So you can consider yung global health access nila. But for me, it's a value for money. No? But kausapin niyo, hanap kayo ng financial advisor ng AXA and you can try to ask ano yung best fit for you. But sa akin, gusto ko yung global health access nila. Okay? So, yan, get enough insurance coverage, no? Kasi paminsan, no, yung definition ng insurance ng Pinoy is ganito, no? Health insurance natin, okay na basta may white flower, no? Lagyan ng Vicks yung sole ng feet, or meron lang tayong Lola Remedios, no? Or ano lang, our family concoction ng luya and calamansi. Okay na 'yon. Health insurance na natin 'yon, 'di ba? And life insurance, paminsan sa palengke, makakabili ka ng mga agimat, 'di ba? Pero let's be real, guys, no. This is ingrained in our society. Sometimes kahit ako it works, no. Kahit ako nga ngayon na uminom ako ng salabat, no, kasi basta maraming speaking engagements, medyo nagbe-break yung voice ko after doing it many times, 'di ba? But there are things na hindi kaya rin masolve nito. No, whether on the mindset level, no? So, importante na may insurance. Okay? So, moving on to mistake number 4. Ito, underestimating inflation and longevity. No, ito sa atin, 'di ba, yung mga presyo ng mga bilihin. Paminsan yung iniisip natin, okay na siguro yung matatanggap ko during my retirement, parang enough na 'yon. Pero actually hindi natin kinakalculate kung mabubuhay ba tayo nun pagdating ng panahon, no? Ang presyo ng mga bilihin today might be different sa panahon ng pag-retire mo, no? 'Di ba? So, considering pa yung life expectancy ng Pilipino nasa 71, no, almost 72 years. So if magre-retire ka ng 60 years old, you need to prepare for at least 10 plus years. If you remember yung survey kanina, pag tinanong yung Pinoy kung how many years they think they need for retirement, 'di ba sagot nila is 2.1 years worth. Pero paano to, no? Okay lang sana if you retire at age 60, tapos tatawagin ka na ni Lord at 62, then that's okay. Pero we know that life expectancy sa Philippines is around 72 years old. So you don't have 2.1 years to prepare, no? You need to prepare for actually at least 10 years worth of life after retirement. So, kaya yan, no? First na suggestion ko or money smart tip for you pagdating na retirement nyo is I hope ngayon pa lang, no, sa profession ninyo, nahanap niyo na yung ikigai, no? So this is something that I encourage you to find out, no? We have decades to find this out, but the earlier the better. So first talaga, I think you need to identify saan ka magaling, no? You need to know what you're good at, no? Kasi hindi mahirap 'yon, no, to succeed in something that we are not good at. The probability of success increases if you know that you are good at what you do, 'di ba? Pero sayang yung galing mo if wala namang opportunity na mabayaran ka doon, 'di ba? So hanap ka ng something na magaling ka that you can be paid for, no? Pag nakita mo yung dalawang ito, alam mo na, nakahanap ka na ng profession mo, no? Kasi magaling ka doon, tapos pwede kang mabayaran through employment or through a business, you have found your profession. No? Pero ang daming tao na magaling sa profession nila, pero hindi sila happy sa ginagawa nila. No? Hindi nila love yung ginagawa nila. So yun yung next na hahanapin nyo, no? What is something that you love, no? Kasi pag mahanap mo yung magaling ka, at love mo yung thing na magaling ka to do, you have found your passion, no? And sometimes, no, yung passion kasi medyo self-serving siya kasi it's something that you're satisfying yourself. Kasi love mo yung ginagawa mong ganun, whatever that skill or profession is. Pero I hope, no, mahanapan nyo rin ng paraan, no, na ma-identify nyo rin ano yung kailangan ng iba, na what the world needs. Kasi if magaling ka sa ginagawa mo, tapos nababayaran ka sa galing ng skill mo, whatever that is, and tapos yung skill mo na yon is something that you love to do, tapos that passion of yours is something that the world needs, you found your ikigai. So, if hindi mo pa alam yung purpose ng buhay mo or why, hopefully these 4 questions can help you with that. But ano lang din, no, seek guidance din from the higher being kasi sometimes, no, mahirap tong hanapin. No? And sometimes the higher being will be able to help us identify that. No? But I hope mahanap mo tong ikigai, no? Kasi pag nahanap mo yung ikigai mo, ito na yung sinasabi ko, na kahit pag-retire mo, kung passionate ka sa ginagawa mo, it's not something na you're just doing because you need to pay the bills. It's because you love what you're doing, no? And siguro sa panahon ng retirement, baka you can build a business out of that ikigai, no? So, build a business that can generate you more income during retirement. No? So that's my point. No? Kasi usually, kasi yan, yun, alam mo na na pwede kang mabayaran for that. Diba? So pursue your ikigai. Next, ito naman, no? Whatever, hindi ko alam no ano ba yung average age natin dito, but sabihin natin nasa 30 years old yung average age ng attendees natin today, no? If you'd like to share, pwede naman, no? If hindi ka nahihiya, can you type in, no, your age right now? But my assumption is sabihin natin 30, no? And if we plan to retire at age 60, again no one will tell you when that is, but normally 60 siya. So that tells you that you have 30 working years left. And ang tanong dyan, no, thank you, may mga nag-respond dito, no? Wow, we have young attendees pala. Imagine, 23 years old, willing to learn already how to prepare for retirement and golden years. So for me, that's really a good advantage. Ako, yung awakening ko was at age 25. So ako, I'm happy na today na meron palang people who are age 20. Oh, ang dami pala. We have here ages 23, 22, 22. Oh, ayan, no? I get to sleep better tonight kasi again, 'di ba? This is my passion. Gusto kong malaman 'to ng mga tao at a much younger age. Okay? Kasi ako, yung mga ganitong topic ng mga seminars na pinag-attendan ko, I started learning about this as age 25 onwards lang. But I see here people na younger pala. So, thank you for that. No? Thank you for that. So, salamat for being part of the journey. Okay, so the question is, no, so kayo kung mga 20 years old kayo, so you have around 4 decades, no, 40 years left. The question here is, are you ready? So, with that, dito na natin magagamit yung calculator natin. So, we're about to use it already. So, I hope na download na ninyo. Papakita ko yung QR again later sa mga late na pumasok. But before we do that, dapat ma-identify mo yung annual expenses mo. So, if your monthly expenses is 20,000, you multiply that by 12, you know that your annual expenses is 240,000. Okay? So, first na step, no, to prepare for your retirement is to know magkano yung annual na gastos mo. Okay? So, I'm going to leave this for you to do, no? Na parang activity siya. Workshop kasi to usually na session. So, hindi ko kayo machi-check from time to time, but you're old enough to be responsible of doing this naman. So, go through the exercise with me. So, ayan, no? Know your annual expenses. In this case, sa example, 240,000. So, dito na natin magagamit yung calculator. Okay, sige. So, I'm giving you another opportunity to download it sa mga hindi pa naka-download. I'm going to give you a minute to download it. Mabilis naman yung mga download speeds right now. Hindi rin masyado mabigat yung app. So, it's already 6:54 on my watch. by 6:55, I'll proceed with the next slide. Okay? Okay. Uh, Sir Peter, ano lang, you might naka-unmute kayo just in case na you're not aware. You can mute yourself po just in case. Thank you. Paminsan ganun kasi na accidentally unmute natin. Thank you. All right. So it's already, ano na ba? 6:55. Okay, I'll proceed na to the next slide considering napa-download ko na to sa inyo earlier. Now, bakit kailangan natin to? Kasi the next step, kailangan natin yung calculator. Now, what I want you to do is, gusto kong buksan ninyo yung app, the Financial Calculator. Tapos, maraming yung tabs kayo makikita dyan. Click nyo tong retirement or 401k. Click nyo po yan. Tapos, this will pop out, retirement calculator list. I want you to click retirement planner. Okay, di ba? Planning for retirement. Kaya gamitan ng calculator. Retirement planner. Tapos, for the first step, dito tayo, inflation matters. Okay, click natin yan. Okay, again, go to retirement or 401k. Punta tayo sa retirement planner. Then, inflation matters. Okay, bakit yan? Now, bakit dyan tayo na function? Kasi, di ba, alam na natin yung annual expenses natin. Pero yung annual expenses natin today, ipro-project natin yan by the time we retire. Kasi nga, di ba, alam natin yung inflation, yan yung pagtaas ng mga presyo ng bilihin at services causing our purchasing power to go down. So yung annual expenses mo today, likely hindi na yan yung annual expenses nyo in the future or by the time you retire. Kasi nga, tumataas yung mga presyo ng mga products and services. So that's why we have to adjust it for inflation. So what I'm going to, pag-click nyo ng inflation matters, ito po yung lalabas, but please adjust. No? So itong current dollar, no, I know dollar yan, but actually sa calculation, it doesn't matter. So whatever be the peso value ng ano ninyo, peso value ng annual na expenses nyo, ilagay nyo dyan. Diba? Example natin was 240,000. So put in 240,000 there. Inflation rate, ang target ng government natin is usually between ilan ba yun? No, 2 to 4%. So let's be conservative. Sabihin natin yung inflation rate is 4%. And retirement age, again, depende sa inyo. Ito yung sinasabi ko. Normal sa society is for you to retire at age 60. Pero ngayon, parang uso na yung retiring early. So, dito mo makikita. No? So, this is making your goals smart. Kasi baka sabihin mo, gusto ko mag-retire but age 40. Pero titingnan natin kung realistic ba yung goal mo na yon. No? Dito mo yan. One of the evidences is here. No? So, retirement age, whatever you like. No? But in this example, 60 years old. So, ibig sabihin pala nito, if yung annual expenses ng 30 years old ngayon is 240,000, kung gusto niya mag-retire by age 60 without changing his lifestyle, no, i-maintain niya lang yung lifestyle niya. Yung inflation adjusted na annual expenses niya becomes 780,000. No, ganito siya pagbasa, guys, ha. So if you have this annual expenses this time, you want to retire at this age, depende sa age mo, makikita mo dyan kung ano yung inflation adjusted. So kung 30 years old ka ngayon, yung 240,000 mo today will become 780,000 pag age 60 mo. If you are 40 years old today and you want to retire at age 60, yung annual expenses mo na 240 will become 525,000 by age 60. So that's how you read this graph. No? Inflation adjusted. Yung annual expenses mo this year, i-project natin by the time that your desired retirement or age, So, malalaman mo ngayon kung ano yun siya. And I want you to note that down. But again, para ma-follow lang natin, kung 30 years old ngayon, 240,000 annual expenses. Kung 60 years old siya magre-retire, gusto, then inflation-adjusted number of this 240 is actually 780,000. So again, ang ibig sabihin nito, kung gumagastos ka ng 240,000 this year, in 30 years, the same thing yung bibilhin mo will now cost you 780,000. Okay? That's inflation adjusted. Now, alam na natin yung inflation adjusted na annual expenses natin. So, if I may ask you, no, how the same survey actually na tinanong din yung Southeast Asian na countries, how much money have you set aside for retirement? No, kanina it's ano yung number na tingin nila is enough. Ngayon, how much yung actual na na-set aside nila? So same, no? Indonesia said 4.1 years, Taiwan said 4.5 years, but Philippines is 0.3 years worth of income. So imagine, average Filipinos only have 1/3 of their annual income set aside for retirement. So ibig sabihin yan, pwede, no, kung wala siyang sources of other income during retirement, yung na-save up niya for retirement will only last them for 4 months. Diba? So that's the reality sa Philippines based on this survey. Okay? Now, alam na natin yung inflation adjusted na annual expenses. So for us, no, to have a number sa ating retirement fund, may tinatawag tayo na 25x rule. No? Ano yung 25x? Ito yung multiplier natin doon sa annual expenses natin para malaman natin yung target na retirement fund natin. No? So actually yung reason bakit times 25, it's because of the 4% rule. No? But let's not make it too complicated, no, kasi it's a research paper. But the guidance is whatever be your inflation adjusted na expenses, multiply that by 25. So you can think about it simply na parang kung meron kang ganitong fund which is 25 times your annual expenses, parang that also tells you na kung hindi ka lang mag-adjust ng lifestyle mo, meron kang 25 years worth of income. No? Parang ganon. Kasi if you retire at age 60, at least that can stretch up to age 85. No? So, that's already a good benchmark, kumbaga. No? But academically, the reason about this is the 4% 4% rule. No? So, yeah, this is the ano niya, parang simplified version. So, ibig sabihin, if our inflation adjusted is 780,000 times 25, that tells us our retirement fund number. So, which is 19.5 million. So kaya ko tinatanong kayo kanina, 'di ba? Ay 'di ba sa start I asked you, ano yung retirement number ninyo? So based on that answer and the following calculation, malalaman mo na ngayon if realistic yung expectation mo versus reality. Okay? So now this is how you calculate your retirement fund number. So 19.5 million for someone spending 20,000 per month. Okay? So, how do we achieve that goal? No? So, the easiest one is to save for that goal. No? Very straightforward man yung savings na strategy. 60 years old minus your current age. Kung 30 years old na yun, you have 30 years to save for that amount. So, yung 19.5 million, divide that by 30 years, that tells you that you only need to save 650,000 per year. I-divide mo yan by 12, that gives you 55,000 per month. Okay, so that's the strategy, straight, no? Straight through kasi yung target divided by the number of months that you can save up for that before retirement, then this is what you need to save per month. Here's another strategy, no? Pwede naman din nyo i-consider yung investing. So again, you can use your calculator again, doon pa rin kayo sa retirement planner. But instead of inflation matters, dito kayo sa start early and save regularly. So all you need to do is input nyo lang doon, save at retirement, 19.5 million. Assuming that your investment portfolio generates a 10% return, retirement age mo is age 60, malalaman mo dito sa bar graph, depending kung anong age kayo, kung magkano yung monthly investment mo. No? So in this case, no, kung 30 years old ka, you want to retire at age 60, ang goal mo is 19.5 million, makikita mo dito this is 30 years old. Kailangan mo nang mag-invest ng 10,000 per month para ma-achieve mo yung goal mo by age 60. So, sabi ko sa'yo, pinapadali ng calculator na to para malaman mo yung number mo. No? So, kung 40 years old ka, you want to retire with 19.5 million, then you'll need to invest 28,371. No? So, depende sa current circumstance nyo, that's how you achieve, no, your goal. No? So, with these two options, no, strategy first, pwede kayo mag-save 55,000 per month or pwede naman mag-invest na around 10,000 per month. So, depende na siya sa strategy ninyo, but if you were to ask me, strategy 2 is something that is worth considering, no, yung pag-invest. Kasi with the smaller amount of money, we can make it grow over a long period of time. We are able to achieve our financial goals the same way. No? So depende yan siya sa reality ninyo kung kaya nyo, which makes sense for you. Strategy 1 ba or 2, either way, feasible yan siya. Okay? But for the next part, I will be focusing on strategy 2, yung investing. No? This leads me to mistake number 5. So kasi pag nag-uusap tayo about investing, no, ito yung common mistake din ng retirees, no? They chase high returns and take too much risk. So that's why, no, lalo na dito sa Pilipinas, ang daming nai-scam, no? So if you've heard about yung mga Ponzi schemes recently, no, yung mga Kappa, mga Rygen, so those were actually people, no, na nadala sila sa greed kasi they want to earn so much in a short amount of time. Hindi na nila naisip na ano ba yung negosyo nila that is able to give them that high levels of return, no? So dapat hopefully kayo rin meron kayong happy number. Kasi ako, that's for me, I set myself, no, it's one of my ways to avoid getting scam, no, kasi yung scams kasi they're actually not triggering your logic, no, they are actually suppressing your logic by overwhelming you with your greed, no? Kasi gusto ng tao kumita ng malaki in a very short amount of time, gusto nila ng overnight millionaire success, but usually sa mga ganun baka likely scam sila. So hopefully you have a happy number. Like ako, I have, my happy number is 7%, no? So ako personally accepted ko na yan. Happy na ako if my portfolio will grow 7% in a year. So what does that tell me? If there's an offer that's around that number or below, it's something na easy for me to consider. Pero if someone would offer me higher, mas magiging cautious ako. No, lalo na pag parang nasi-sense ko that they are enticing me, no, too much, no? Naga-hard sell sila, they are given promises. Tapos ito, very ano to, red flag pag sinasabi nilang risk-free itong investment na to. Because again guys, investing always has risk. Ang goal natin as investors is to only manage that risk. Na wala tayong magagawa yan, meron talagang risk lahat ng investment, kaya nga we are expecting returns from it. But even yung expectations natin will still deviate from the actual returns, 'di ba? So, careful tayo sa mga scam, no? And also, lalo na ngayon, no, parang naging uso yung gambling, no? You only bet 20 pesos to win millions of pesos, no? But if you do the math, literal na swerte ka talaga, no? Literal hulog ng langit pag manalo ka, no? So, careful tayo sa mga ganon, no? Many people fall prey to this, to scams and getting addicted to gambling. Now, talking about this, no, we're now moving to the third part of the presentation. Ano yung pwede natin i-consider before investing? So, una talaga naming ina-advocate dito is to know yourself. So, sa First Metrosec platform, no, once you have an account with us, meron kaming client suitability assessment doon. Usually, siguro if you attended our 103, no, Financial Management 103 session, We walk you through this process, no, of identifying ano yung investor personality ninyo. But right now, assignment nyo na lang kasi this is not the appropriate na session to discuss this at that level, no? So, hopefully you get to do that client suitability assessment. Kasi yung client suitability assessment, malalaman mo kung ano yung investor personality mo. Are you a conservative investor? Are you a balanced investor? Or are you an aggressive investor? Kasi pag nalaman mo what type of investor you are, malalaman mo rin yung appropriate investment for you, no? So dito na rin pumapasok yung topic natin kung not all utangs are created equal, not all investments are also for everybody. Kasi kung depende siya sa risk personality mo, risk profile mo, investor personality mo, may appropriate na investment for you. If you're conservative, pang money market securities ka lang. Kung moderately conservative ka, pwede ka sa bonds. Pero kung aggressive ka, pwede ka mag-individual stocks. Pero kung moderate ka lang, siguro hanggang blue chips ka lang. Pero hindi naman kailangan on the opposite side kasi may mga tao rin na kailangan ng balance na meron siyang bonds and meron din siyang stock sa portfolio. So, pag alam niyo yung investor personality niyo, alam niyo kung ano yung investment match for you. No? So, with that, here's my money smart tip. No? 'Di ba, we had an inflation adjusted na annual expenses. The way for us to beat that inflation is actually through investing, no? And I'm talking here about legit na mga investments. So, we have actually money market, bonds, and stocks. As you go further to the right, na nakikita nyo tong arrow na to, the risk involved actually increases. So, ibig sabihin, mas risky si stocks kaysa kay bonds. Si bonds, mas risky kay money market. But if you're able to take on higher amount of risk, the potential return also increases. So that's why sa money market, sa time deposit, if you have a Metrobank app, there's a 364-day na time deposit. You can get 4.25% per annum. So kasi ngayon medyo mataas yung interest rates eh. So hopefully ano pa yan, maka-lock in kayo. Pero may mga times din na lower yung interest rate. So depende yan siya sa market conditions. For bonds naman, yung RTB 31, it was a 5-year bond. 6% per annum yung rate. So usually sa bonds and money market, medyo fixed ang annual rates. Pero sa stocks, walang guaranteed rates of return sa stocks kasi depende siya sa performance or galaw ng presyo ng stock na meron ka. But the index, the PSEI, on average, since from 2020 to 2021, the average growth rate is around 9.45%. So nakikita natin tong relationship na to. The potential return also increases. But again, huwag niyo kalimutan, no, na for you to get this higher potential return, you can usually get that over longer periods of time. No? So, kaya yung mga different investment instruments may for different goals, may appropriate sa kanya. For example, emergency fund ninyo. It's crazy to put it in stocks kasi nga medyo baka it's a long-term investment vehicle. Yung emergency fund ninyo maganda yan ilagay sa money market kasi liquidity and security yung goal mo. For medium term naman, let's say you're saving up for your dream house or whatever mid-term goal that you have, okay yan siya sa bonds, no? Kasi nasa around that time frame siya, 5 or depende, 3 to 5 or 7 years. Pero for longer goals, no? Let's say, 'di ba, most of you here are 20s. So retirement is around 4 decades away from you. Sayang naman yung potential return sa stocks kung dito lang niyo yan ilagay sa money market, no? So you might consider, lalo na for retirement, no, usually stocks talaga yung pinaglalagyan nila kasi it's a long-term goal and mas malalaki the probability of getting higher returns sa stocks will be higher in longer time frames, no? So hopefully, no, it's something you can consider. Now, talking about investments, no, I cannot share to you everything kasi nga we're focusing on retirement tonight. And when you talk about retirement, alam natin yung reality ng retirement is mawawalan ka ng active income. Kasi nga, you'll slow down in life. Pero, yung lifestyle mo is still ongoing. What if wala ka ng source of active income during your retirement years? So, how would you augment that active income? Kaya for retirees, let's focus on income-paying investments kasi the goal is to augment what you actively earned in the past. No? So I'm going to run through you these three options as we go towards the tail end of our presentation. No? So yung una kong i-share sa inyo is dividends from stocks. No? So actually, you can consider sa mga retirees, maganda din yung mga rental properties. Lalo na pag you have good amount of capital, pwede naman talaga yung rental properties, no? Like this one, no? This is very close to where I live. Buying price here is around 30 million. Nasa around 25 yung asking price nito, but for you to close sa real estate, you have to impute for me, I impute a 20% buffer for the closing cost. So, buying price nito is nasa 30 million. Pero maganda to kasi may mga bachelor pad siya, may mga 2-bedroom, 3 toilet baths unit siya. This unit is already generating around 100,000 to 120K monthly. So, annual rental income nito nasa 1.44 million. So, kung kukunin mo yung yield, siguro nasa 4.8% yan. Pero may mga real estate tax ka pa, maintenance cost, so deduct mo yan. So, may estimate for this properties nasa 4%. So, this is really good kasi tangible yung property, may potential siya to appreciate. So, this is also a good addition sa portfolio nyo. No? So, sa investment portfolio nyo, it's good to have rental property. But yun lang, if you go through this route, malaki yung capital na kailangan, tapos may active aspect of it pa kasi kailangan mo siyang i-manage, no? Kasi 'di ba pag ito medyo long-term stay, may mga iba na short-term stay, mga Airbnbs, every time umaalis yung client mo, kailangan mo siyang linisin, 'di ba? So that has cost on its own as well. But if you're looking for something a little bit passive, meron naman tayong tinatawag na real estate investments trusts, which are actually REIT companies, no, who own revenue generating na mga properties, no. It could be hotels, commercial centers, or mga malls, depende sa type of property niya. And the good thing about that is meron na mga fund manager to steer its growth towards the future. And meron ding mga property manager for the day-to-day operations of these income-generating properties. Now, the good thing about REITs lang, guys, again, it's a stock, no? SEC, no? It's by law, required ang REITs to distribute 90% of its distributable income. So, if the distributable income is 100 million, required sila to distribute at least 90% or 90 million, no? So, that's why yung REITs is really a dividend play sa portfolio nyo. And I'm going to share with you 2 examples here. Si Robinsons Land, meron tayong tinatawag na RCR or Robinsons Land Corp na REIT. Trading at 7.09 pesos per share. 100 shares minimum siya kung bibili niyo siya sa stock market. So, ibig sabihin, 700 pesos. Makakabili na kayo ng 100 shares ni RCR. So, ibig sabihin nito, maganda to really for wealth builders, no? Kung konti pala yung capital nyo, hindi nyo pa kaya yung rental property, you can consider REITs. And RCR already has a 6.12% trailing 12 months dividend yield, no? So, ibig sabihin, mga around 6% yung expected mo kay RCR. If mas gusto nyo si Ayala Land, meron naman siyang e-REIT, no? Or Ayala Land REIT. Trading at 38.85 pesos per share, 100 shares minimum, so mga 4,000 pesos yung kailangan nyo to buy 100 shares of a REIT. And yield niya is nasa 6.64. So what am I saying here is that sa investment portfolio nyo, you could have a blend between rental property and REIT. So depende na lang siya sa kaya nyo, no? So which works best for you, no? But for me, no, right now in this situation, mas prefer ko si REITs, no? I would have more REITs than tangible property. But again, it's because of my personality. So depende yan, paiba-iba tayo, 'di ba? So ito rin RCR ay highlighted here dividends pero may potential din to siya up to appreciate in price kasi pwede pa naman to siya umakyat ng presyo, 'di ba? Like I think RCR, if I'm not mistaken, yung target price namin dito is 8 pesos or 8.4. So what we're saying is you can buy RCR right now at a discount. On top pa yan siya ng dividends that you're expecting sa REITs. No? But don't go heavy muna kasi hindi pa masyadong maganda talaga to increase exposure sa REITs right now. No? But is it good to buy? Pwede. No, pwede. But not too much. No, not too much. Okay. Another one, no, if medyo hindi kayo comfortable doon sa variability ng dividends ng REITs, meron naman tayong tinatawag na preferred shares. Ito naman siya fixed yung dividend rates. Like si Globe, last February, nag-offer siya ng non-voting preferred shares. Fixed yung dividend rates niyan, no? So nasa around 6.1 to 6.7 depende sa series na bibilhin nyo. But yun, ito siya, fixed siya. Kung ayaw nyo ng variability, you can go for preferred shares. Okay? So, but again, no, kahit fixed yung dividend rates niyan, may mga instances din, baka kung financially challenged yung companies, may mga ibang companies na nag-pause sila sa dividend payments nila. So, kaya ako, recommendation ko sa inyo, to lessen that risk, go for blue chip names like Globe, kasi the probability of that happening is much less. No? So, not only dividend stocks, no, kung gusto niyo yung mga dividend stocks, meron naman kami mga research reports sa platform namin that can help you, no? Kasi meron kaming dividend dashboard doon. This is the latest one. So, pag tinatanong kami ng mga clients namin, ano yung magandang dividend stocks to buy right now, ito yung parang ano namin, reference namin. So, yan, no? So, we have dividend dashboard. So, if you're asking my guide ba to find opportunities sa dividend names, meron. No? So, nasa platform namin yan. And that's one of the aspect ng First Metrosec, no? One of our services, pwede kayo mag-trade ng stocks. And meron din kaming mobile app para kahit on the go kayo, you can monitor your portfolio, buy and sell stocks to your convenience. Okay? But not only stocks, no? For lalo na sa mga retirees, no? Ito yung something I hope you can consider, no? Yung mga fixed income investment or bonds, no? May tinatawag tayo na government or corporate bonds. So yung stocks, 'di ba? You're becoming a part owner of that business by having stocks of those company. Itong bonds, it's a different asset din. Kasi technically nagpapautang ka sa government or sa mga corporations. So for example, in this sample, may bond na 100K yung face value, 5 years term siya, and 5% yung per annum na coupon rate. Ibig sabihin yan, I'm using 100,000 lang ha as para easy for the calculation sa mine. Pero may mga bonds right now that you can buy 5,000 or 10,000 pesos. So let's say 100,000 yung principal mo, if the term is 5 years, since pautang siya, they promise no to pay you back that principal after the maturity of the term, or in this case after 5 years. So kaya siya stable source or stable to siya na aspect of your portfolio kasi may repayment of the principal, no? Which is after 5 years. And while they are still borrowing your money, they will give you this coupon rate or 5% per annum, gross pa yan siya. So yan yung matatanggap mo, 5% gross na coupon every year, no? So matatanggap mo yan siya. Then on the last year, ibibigay sa iyo yung last coupon and your principal. So this is how bonds work. Okay? So yung available through First Metrosec are government and corporate bonds. This year, parang wala pang tranche ni retail treasury bond. Last year, they had RTB 31. 5 years ang term. Minimum amount is 5,000 lang. Tapos 6% yung interest. Ito yung ginamit ko na example kanina doon sa isang slide, 'di ba? Meron ding government corporate bonds, pero yung corporate bonds medyo mataas yung minimums niya, usually nasa 50 or 20,000, but yung interest rate niya medyo mas mataas din naman, no? So pili na lang kayo kung ano yung mas prefer ninyo, no? And yung bonds, available din siya sa First Metrosec platform. So ito, makikita nyo, this is a sample of a portfolio na may government bonds, no? So yan, makikita nyo siya. So hindi lang stocks, meron din kayong opportunity to build your retirement fund with bonds. Now, next, third option, no? Again, retirement, income paying dapat yung preference natin. Fortunately, meron naman tayong mga mutual funds or UITF. So itong mutual funds or UITFs naman, these are professionally managed, no? So ibig sabihin, hindi na ikaw yung mamimili ng stocks or bonds. Meron ng strategy yung fund na yon, hanap ka na lang ng gusto mo na strategy that aligns to your investment preferences as well, and you become part of that fund already. And siguro for retirees, focus tayo doon sa mga income-paying funds. So, merong mga income-paying funds dyan that distribute semi-annually, meron din quarterly, and meron din monthly. Yung personal preference ko is yung monthly. No? Kasi mas gusto ko yung nakatanggap ako ng dividends every month. Tapos, rini-reinvest ko lang din sa kanila. No? Para mag-compound lang din. Okay? So, yun. There are income-paying funds, and sa First Metrosec, no, you have access to 130 plus funds. They are from Atram, BPI Wealth, Manulife Investment Management, PhilEquity, Sun Life Asset Management, and ATR FAMI. No? So again, these are the funds lang ha. You might see here mga insurance companies, but wala po tong kaakibat na insurance. Kasi si Manulife, meron siyang insurance company, pero meron din naman silang investment management arm. No? So yes, that's Manulife Investment. Si Sun Life, may insurance din siya, pero meron din siyang investment management firm, which is Sun Life Asset Management. Yung nasa First Metrosec are the asset management company. So pure investment siya. So yun yung specialization ni First Metrosec. Okay? So, ayan, dami yung options out there, pero I just highlighted yung income paying kasi nga retirees yung iniisip ko. Now, ayun, ang dali lang din. No? If you want to learn about the fund, nandun lang siya. Click nyo lang tong funds dito. Search nyo lang yung fund na gusto nyo. Makikita nyo kung ano na yung mga information niya. Makikita nyo dyan magkano yung minimum investment. Majority of our funds, yung minimum investment is just 1,000 pesos. No? And makikita nyo din dyan ano yung performance niya through the years, saan siya naka-invest. So, lahat ng information are also there. If you like that fund, click nyo lang yung subscribe, lagay nyo yung amount, and yun, makikita mo na siya sa portfolio mo. So, that leaves me to my last money smart tip, diversify. Never put all your eggs in one basket. No? So, maraming strategies to diversify, but for the theme tonight, no, you can consider this strategy shared by John Bogle. Now, I recommend you read this book, The Little Book of Common Sense Investing. Sabi niya, your age in bonds, the rest in stocks. So for me, I like this as well kasi it makes sense to me. No? So if you're currently 30 years old, so 30% in bonds, 70% in stocks. And as you age, i-adjust mo siya the closer you go towards retirement. Para pagdating ng retirement mo at age 60, 60% na are in bonds, 40% are in stocks. So, bakit ganito yung thinking? Kasi kung mas bata ka pa, mas importante pa sa iyo yung growth potential ng stocks kaysa yung stability ng bonds. Pero pagdating mo ng retirement, mas importante na sa iyo yung stability ng bonds kaysa growth potential ng stocks. So, kaya for me, this makes sense. Kahit sa ako personal level, ito yung ginagawa ko. Okay? So, with that, no, just to summarize all your income-paying investment options, you can earn dividends from stocks, whether preferred shares or REITs yung pipiliin nyo. Pwede rin kayo kumita ng interest from bonds, government ba yan or corporate bonds, or kung hindi nyo kaya to manage on your own, meron naman mga professionally managed mutual funds or UITFs na income paying. No? So, yan. No? So, that's the options. And the beauty of all of that is lahat yan available through the First Metrosec platform. So, ito na yung pwede naming matulong towards your retirement journey. Kasi if you're going to build your retirement fund, whatever that number is, yan lang din yung mga investment options na available. So, pwede nyo talaga siya i-mix and match sa First Metrosec platform. Okay? So, if you want to open an account with First Metrosec, sobrang bilis lang din. You can just download our app, First Metrosec Go. Available siya sa Google Play or Apple App Store. Merong sign up now doon sa baba. You just follow the process. If familiar kayo mag-open ng digital accounts with other firms, similar process lang din. All you need to have is a government-issued ID, preferably driver's license or passport. But there are also others na accepted. Proof of address, no? Doesn't have to be under your name. Basta yung ma-declare na address is the same as what is seen doon sa utility bill. Pwede kuryente, tubig, internet, pwede na yun. Kahit hindi pa under your name. Kung nagre-renta ka lang or you're still staying with your parents. Also, kailangan din ng savings account, no? So, whatever you have, pwede, but we highly recommend Metrobank, no? Kung wala pa kayo Metrobank account, open kayo sa nearest na Metrobank branch. Okay? And 3 signatures, minimum initial funding is just 1,000 pesos. And when you go to the portion that they ask you, how did you learn about us? Please indicate their scale up para malaman namin that you came from this session. Okay? So with that, I'd like to summarize my presentation. Tama lang yung oras ko. It's already 7:30. So I hope with my tips tonight, I was able to help you retire with confidence. I was able to share with you money smart tips towards your golden years. So ngayon pa, pay off your bad debts, budget your pension or your salary. Kung malapit ka na sa retirement, dapat may plano ka na for your pension. Pero kung you're still earning right now, you still have to budget your salary. Dapat meron kang emergency fund, meron kang enough insurance coverage, and no, hopefully ma-pursue mo yung ikigai mo, no? Mahanap mo 'yon. And naturuan ko rin kayo how to compute for your retirement fund goal. And again, yung retirement fund goal, pwede mo yung pag-ipunan, pwede ka rin mag-invest, but hopefully you'll consider to invest so that you can beat inflation. I shared to you also different options out there. Pwede kayo kumita ng dividend from stocks, interest from bonds, or professionally managed na income-paying funds. Okay? And with that, I hope you learned a lot from my presentation. No? And I think that's the last part, no? I was able to discuss already retire with confidence, money smart tips towards your golden years. No? So pahabol na lang, no, if you want to learn more about First Metro Sec. Tinanong ko kayo, most of you here are from Manila pala. So ang na-prepare ko sa presentation is yung dito sa location namin sa Davao. I was expecting na marami from Mindanao kasi Scale Up is actually based here sa Mindanao. But we are nationwide. Now we have representatives in Visayas, sa Cebu siya located, and our head office is in Makati. So ayun, no? But if you need to contact us, this is the team dito sa Mindanao. That's my email address and my work number along with my teammates. Okay? And if you want to learn more about us, you can go to our website, firstmetrosec.com.ph. Pwede nyo rin kami hanapin sa social media. Hanapin nyo lang yung handle at First Metrosec. You can also scan this QR code. It will take you to Linktree na meron na siyang link sa lahat ng social media platforms namin. And you can download our app sa Google Play or App Store. And First Metrosec is also regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, PSE, and Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. If you need help from us directly, you can contact us at customer service at firstmetrosec.com.ph. And again, last ko na lang na request sa inyo for tonight. I hope you learn a lot from this session. And I'd like to hear your feedback. No? So please scan this QR code. We want to ask you how we could serve you better. So let us know what worked well tonight, where we can still improve, ano yung mga topics na gusto nyo in the future. And remind ko lang kayo na the rating scale is lowest ang 1, highest ang 5. Yung paminsan kasi nababaliktad nila. Again, lowest is 1, highest is 5. No? So hopefully you'll be able to indicate there your intended talaga na feedback. Kasi paminsan nagkakamali, no? And it's part of our job, no? So yeah, thank you in advance for your feedback. So ayun, with that, I'd like to close off my session with Q&A. Siguro I can cater to 10 minutes more, no? Para 7:45 will be done already. So, questions po, meron? Opening the floor right now. Please type in your question if meron. Alright, just in case nahihiya kayo, pwede nyo rin to i-scan itong QR code if you want to book a one-on-one session with me. Kung gusto niyo mas masagot ko na personal level, nahiya kayo to ask in a group setting, scan this QR code so you can book a one-on-one online meeting with me. 30 minutes lang siya per meeting. I can also cater only 4 in a day. So, I also have other parts ng trabaho ko. So, you can also book a meeting with me. No? Pili lang kayo na schedule doon sa Calendly. Alright, second call for questions. Okay, wala talaga. Yan, may mga nag-thank you. Salamat naman. Hopefully, naka-feedback kayo. Okay. Last call for questions. Wala talaga. Going once. Going twice. Last call. Ayan, none daw. So, ang dami naming natutunan. Thank you so much, no? And beyond what you've learned, I'd be happy to see yung journey niyo towards achieving that goal. Okay? Hopefully, you'll able to turn theory to practice, no? Lalo na sa inyo, parang napaka-young ng demographics natin tonight. 20 plus years old. So, I'm happy na ako I will be able to sleep fulfilled tonight knowing na I was able to teach people that about things I learned much later in life, no? So I hope no I was able to ignite your fire towards achieving your desired retirement. Okay? So ang challenge lang talaga basta medyo bata pa sa tingin natin ang layo pa nung retirement na paminsan mamaya na yan, no? I have time. And sometimes you repeat that line year in, year out, no? To a point na darating ka sa time na, oh, I kept on saying this year after year. Tapos na-realize ko, I'm so close to my retirement. I could have started earlier. No? And that's a regular ka nakikinig, naririnig sa mga clients ko. But I hope the next generation will become better. Ako okay na ako no leaving this world knowing na I was able to push the next generation forward, no? Na hopefully the next generation will able to become better money managers than I am. Hopefully you'll be able to start your investing earlier than I did. And at the bottom line of everything, I was able to help you achieve your respective financial goals. Okay, so with that, I'd like to close off my session tonight. Thank you so much for attending tonight, and I hope to see you with very wonderful retirement years ahead. All right, thank you and have a pleasant night ahead.